Weatherview now on BBC One with Hellen Willets.
Hello and welcome to Weatherview. You may recall from the news bulletins or weather bulletins about a week ago of the devastating weather we had across the west coast of the US. Well, there's a potential for more problems. You can see one massive cloud that we had during the day on Monday, and there's an increasing risk, I think, for California, Oregon too, of more heavy rain and heavy snowfall, strong winds blowing that snow around, and again, because it's falling in such a short space of time, it could give us quite a high avalanche risk and a mudslide risk. And here's why. Low pressure. One has moved in during the day on Monday, and then another one starts to come in by the time we get to midweek. So that needs watching. For yourself, you can see in Seattle and Salt Lake City that wet weather arrives during Wednesday. I should imagine for Salt Lake City that rain will soon turn to snow. Now, heading out of the States and across to Europe, we've also had some rain and some snow. This swathe of cloud here, the culprit, huge hooking onto a low pressure up in the north. It's given some significant snowfall across the Alps in Switzerland and significant rainfall in Nice, nearly a month's worth of rainfall falling here, all courtesy of low pressure. Now, behind that low pressure, things are turning quite chilly. In fact, you can see for yourself the frost will become widespread, not just by night, but by day here as well. And then our next weather system comes up into it. And so for New Year's Day, the start of 2004, we could have some quite significant snow across the low countries of Europe. We'll keep you posted on that one. We've even had a little taster of winter here in the UK. We had a little bit of snow in London, believe it or not, during the day on Monday. It didn't amount to a great deal, but what we will find is because we've had all that patchy rain, sleet and snow in the south, it's going to turn very icy for the morning rush. As well as that, we could have some patches of fog, particularly southern Britain, so parts of South Wales, the South Midlands, East Anglia and the South East. A slight frost here, but as I say, significant because of the risk of ice, and it'll also be very frosty further north. A severe frost in the Scottish Glens here over the snowfields, minus 10 degrees Celsius. And then further change tomorrow. Some snow this time for Northern Ireland. We could see a light covering possible, a couple of centimetres, particularly in western parts of the province after a fine start in the east, a very frosty start. But it looks like a bleak day here. It'll turn increasingly misty through the day with outbreaks of snow to start with, but hopefully it'll change back to rain. I think the most significant falls will be across the western side, as I say. It'll also stay rather dull and dank across parts of southeast England and East Anglia. Further outbreaks of mostly rain, but a little sleetiness in there as well. And of course, the ice and the fog to contend with. But elsewhere, plenty of fine weather, some hazy sunshine lasting throughout the day, just a rogue shower in eastern Scotland and eastern England. But for all of us, be it cloudy or sunny, it's going to be a cold winter day, again, bitter. But then it turns very wet and windy during Wednesday. Yes, it'll be cold and fine to start in the east, bit of cloud still floating around, but then it turns very wet, heavy snow over the hills and severe gales potentially. Not a time to be out in the mountains, and that looks set to continue for the celebrations on New Year's Eve as well. Bye-bye.